Hello and welcome to another episode of the Evening Nine Golf Podcast. Today is Sunday, March 8th. It is the time change. I know we love to hear that. And the PGA Tour just wrapped up the Arnold Palmer Invitational. It's a good weekend. How you doing, Matt?
I'm doing great. It is a phenomenal weekend. The weather here in Pittsburgh was amazing. So I got out to get 3 rounds of golf in, 36 holes total. Just two of them were 9-hole rounds. With the time change, it's getting dark at like 7 p.m. So uh,
hmm
quite a wonderful weekend. But what about you? I know you got out to play for yourself a little bit. How did that go?
I did. I got out on Friday. It was amazing. And the course is actually in good condition too. So I love to see that in March. Um, Not quite the results I was looking for to make it onto the Q school circuit, but that's why we have all summer, right?
Yeah, exactly. It looked like you posted the pictures. It looked like it was a pretty cool course, or at least had some pretty cool bones. But so
Yeah,
so my prediction of 75 and a half, the over hit on that.
the over hit. I shot a 78, but
Okay, I
again,
mean,
super short course. It felt
yeah,
like an 85. So,
I mean
what
you
about
can't
yourself?
complain. You can't complain too much about a 78. So I'll do a little game out of it. So I'll put I did play. I played 9 on Friday, 9 this afternoon. And I'll say
Mhm.
this at Rolling Acres, which is a course that you're familiar with. That's where I played my 18. I shot an 87. It was a rough, especially front nine. I wish I had my scorecard from the back nine because it was the funniest thing ever. I think I can remember. I think I went, uh, let me think. I went par, double, birdie, bogey, birdie, par. I think. I think that's how it went. But whatever it was, I shot like a 42, 45. It was rough.
Yeah, that's
But
not bad.
that being said, with that information, one of those rounds was much worse than that. One or was actually just as bad as that. The other was um, better than that. Okay, and it was at an easier course too, a slightly easier course. So let's start on Friday. I'll set my no. You can set the over and over under and guess what do you put me at?
9 holes. I think you shot a 39. So give me 39 and a half.
The over did hit again. It was a rough start to the season. I shot a 42, so it was trending in the right direction. And then I got
Oh,
that.
that's not rough.
No, it's an easy course. It's a scoreable course. I did after that. I did have an epiphany, and I started on Saturday and today's round. I did not tee. I did not bring the driver out of the bag a single time. The head cover stayed on. I teed off with my 3 wood, and I think I hit up until it was on the back nine on Saturday that I said that was the first fairway I missed with that fairway with the wood. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, that being said, it was a much improved day today. So, what's your
Much improved. What'd
much
you shoot at? 37.
37? There we go.
Let's go. Good
Three
round.
bogeys, 2 birdies, 37.
Love it.
It is one of those courses. I only had 2 holes where I had to take like my approach shot was a full shot. Well, three because there's a par three too. Other than that, it's all knockdown wedges, which is a nightmare for
Yeah.
me. 'Cause that's the worst thing. That's the worst part about my game. It's like 50-yard shots. I never hit. I'm always sailing greens or I'm way short. I don't know how, but I can never hit greens from 50 yards. It is atrocious.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. Enough about us. We'll have our TV time eventually. But it was a great weekend, regardless, for both of us. It's always a great weekend when we go play golf.
Yes.
So on to the Arnold Palmer. Quite an exciting finish. I did not get to watch as much as I hoped. I watched a little bit at the end. Got to see the playoff, but I did not catch the majority of the round. The round I played, we were stuck behind about 4 people. So somehow my round and their round took the same amount of time. That's besides the point. So take us through it. Tell us a little bit about it, about some of the excitement that was going on down in Bay Hill.
Yeah, we got playoff golf down in Bay Hill, and it was great. It was really a two-man match most of the day. Going into the final round, it was pretty much looking like it was going to be between Daniel Berger and Akshay Bhatia. Kind of throughout the front nine of their rounds, Akshay dropped a little bit, and so you had a couple other contenders: Ludwig Oberg and Cameron Young, your boy. He was looking pretty hot. Um, but kind of right after they made the turn, Berger, I believe, had a three-stroke lead making the turn, and so it looked like he was going to start running away with it. You know, he hits a lot of good tee shots, a lot of knockdown drivers, and he just began to play more and more conservative going into the back nine. I think he took irons off of 10 and 11. So it seemed like he was going to start running away with it, but Akshay made a couple nice putts, a couple routine birdies on par fives, and all of a sudden we get back to 18, and it's a all square
Mm-hmm.
match. On 17, Daniel Berger three putts from the fringe. So that was kind of a blow to the morale before heading to the 18th tee. And then the 18th hole is a fantastic finishing hole. Fantastic. Hardest hole on the course this week, averaging half a stroke over par. And it's a par four where you're carrying over water to the green. So if you're missing the rough, it's so thick out here. And the angle into the green is so tricky that most guys are laying up. So we reached the 18th tee, and these guys are all square. Akshay obviously has all of the momentum, and Daniel Berger misses the fairway to the right. And if you remember earlier in the day, they actually had to finish up round three early in the morning. And when these guys played hole 18, Daniel Berger bogeyed and Akshay birdied. So it was a huge momentum swing to finish up that third round on Sunday morning. And so obviously the momentum's with Akshay. He has a good history from the morning of. Daniel Berger doesn't. So it looks like it should be in Akshay's favor, especially once he hits the fairway and Berger misses it. Um, Berger has to lay up out of the fairway, obviously. Super, super amazing hole design. Love
Mm-hmm.
it. But he does get up and down from 70 yards, hits a 15-foot putt. It was awesome. Akshay almost chips in for birdie. So, anyways, they're going to the playoff hole, and it's of course back to 18. Um, so same setup, but now the momentum has kind of evened out after Berger drained that long putt to force the playoff, which was just so strange because he was leading and in control all day long, all tournament long, ever
Mm-hmm.
since the first
Yeah.
round. He almost went wire to wire winner. But finally, it felt all square on the tee box on 18 of the playoff. But again, Berger this time misses his driver to the left rough, which was just, I think it had to have been nerves because he was hitting his, I don't know if it's a mini driver or just a knockdown driver, but he has this low swinging shot that looks really nice. But both times on 18 in that final round, he missed it. So again, has to. Actually, no, he can go for the green, but he obviously is not wanting to take on any water when he's got a 200-yard carry. So he hits the green, but has, I think they said, is like a 108-foot putt. It's
Yeah,
got
I
to be the
did.
longest putt you can find on the entire course. Um, so hits a good lag putt. Still has 8 feet left. Akshay makes a pretty typical par from the fairway, so he can't be mad about that, and Berger just can't get the job done.
Mm-hmm.
So Akshay kind of wins. Obviously, he made some birdies on the back nine. 10 through 13, he had four straight birdies, which
Mm-hmm.
was really momentous for him. But wrapping things up on hole 18 two times in a row, he just made two pars. He just had to get the job done and
Yeah.
let Berger more or less choke it away.
Mm-hmm.
So it was pretty interesting. Berger is a guy who hasn't won in, I think, at least 5 years,
Yeah.
and he's a really good player. Kind of has been down and out because of some injuries. So maybe there's still some rust showing, but it looked like it was his for most of the day, and Bhatia just got it done. So I'm not sure at what point you got to start watching, but what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I basically 18 is when I tuned in. I didn't see their tee shots on 18, but yeah, I do really love 18. We will get back to that, but I mean, phenomenal week from Daniel Berger, Danny Berger, Donnie Berger. If you've ever seen, if you get that reference. But anyways, um, yeah, it's kind of weird because, like you said, it never really seemed like he was out of control the entire week. He was pretty much the end to end leader. Up until he held the lead. Excuse me, after day one, after day two, after day three, and then up until the first playoff hole, and then he lost it. So yeah, it felt like he was really in control, and I mean he still played an amazing week, and even on 18, obviously three putts are never what you want, but I mean we all saw the putt from there. I mean that was as good as he could have done. I mean if you think from 100, 105 feet, whatever it was, I mean getting it to 7 feet is a great putt, and the shot he hit before that, the approach shot to the green, he that was a phenomenal shot. I mean, he really just had to tumble it up there. I don't know if you heard any of the dialogue between him and his caddy. It was kind of funny because I don't know if you heard that. It was pretty. It was like the only thing. Like they were just, giving the audio for him and his caddy, but basically his caddy didn't. It was like, oh, you and to paraphrase, he basically said, "I don't think you can do that." Dan Berger basically said, "Hey, well, watch me. I'm going to do it," and then tumbled up there. And yeah, I mean, unfortunate three putt, but like you said, really the sin of that hole was not getting off the tee, not getting in the fairway because that hole, if you're not in the fairway, you're pretty much done.
Hmm.
But yeah, but congrats to Akshay. I mean, he really fought back. It was kind of a weird 18 because he had four bogeys, five birdies, and an eagle to shoot a 69. That's pretty. Usually, when people are
Yeah.
shooting 69, you're not seeing four bogeys on the card. Um, but yeah, so I mean, really up and down roller coaster round. Yeah, I mean, way to fight. A phenomenal back nine, like you said, a 31 with five or with what four birdies, an eagle, and a
Yep.
bogey. So yeah, and
Yep.
that eagle was phenomenal. So congrats to Akshay. I mean, he was
Yep.
kind of he was kind of right there for when things got tough. And I don't want to say Daniel Berger like choked it away. I mean, he still shot a 70. So I mean, it's not like he had a horrendous round. He still shot a 70. He still had a good round, but Akshay was just kind of there. He really fought towards the end, and he got his third career victory. So congrats to him.
Yeah, what a shot by Akshay on hole 16, the par
Mhm.
five. I think he had a 6 iron that he just stuffed. And the commentators picked up on it quite a bit over the weekend as he was playing in some of the last groups. He hits the ball high. And
Mhm.
so his 6 iron, he was able to just loft up there and stop it right next to the flag where it looks like there's no room to stop a ball there. So super impressive shot. And even after making that eagle, he was still down, but
Mhm.
the momentum was really shifting. And Berger was on his heels and just couldn't really make up that ground back.
Yeah, that shot on 18 too. That I mean, that shot on 16 for kind of Securities Eagle was kind of the same thing. But on 18 too, is it kind of gave us flashbacks to Echeverria last week on 17, where it just barely cleared the water. Just I mean, maybe a foot over the water, but he was safe. But going back to what you said about his ball flight, I remember a couple of years ago I was at the Memorial and we were on the range and Akshay was hitting balls, and this is when he was still. I think he'd won the Barracuda by that point, but he was still kind of he was still a really young guy on tour. And I was with my dad, and I remember so distinctly. I remember he is the one. He's the skinniest guy I think I've ever seen in my life. He's probably 6 foot, 130 pounds. He is a twig. Also, he is the most unbelievable ball flight. He just hits this super power, really high fade. I mean, it you don't see many people on tour hitting as much of a fade as he hits, and it's pretty amazing. I mean, you watch everybody else, and it's like, I mean, they hit fades, but they're fading, or they'll hit draws like a couple yards, where his is like a real power fade. But yeah, really really nice ball. He has a really nice ball. The only gripe I have with him is he still uses the broomstick, but hey, whatever works.
Yes.
But yeah, great, really tournament. The last 2 days were phenomenal for Akshay to secure his third win, and yeah.
Yeah. So the course, like we mentioned on Thursday, the course was fantastic.
Mhm.
Super pure, super green. The greens really firmed up over the weekend. The announcers also picked up on that quite a bit, talking about how some of the balls had some really firm bounces on greens.
Mhm.
And so when you have all of the par threes at Bay Hill are the same distance for the pros, it's like between 200 and
Yep.
210 yards.
Yep.
So a little bit repetitive, but also really tricky when the greens are firm to be able to land the
Mhm.
6, 7 iron and get it to stop and give yourself a birdie or a par. So good test of golf. What was the winning score? 15 under is what got in the playoffs. So pretty on par with what prior winner scores have been.
Yep.
But any thoughts about the course or any other player notes to get through?
Yeah, I'll say I'll touch on some other players. Some just rounding up the top five. It was a very young, very. I mean, it was. I guess it was a relatively young. I guess Morikawa and Young aren't that too terribly young, but Ludwig Berg. Love seeing him back towards the top. I was telling my friend today. It's kind of funny seeing with Ludwig because sometimes he's not having the best week. Seems like he either has it or he doesn't. And obviously the world of golf's a better world whenever he has it. So he had it this week. So it's nice to see him back. T3 when he's had a pretty rough year since the Genesis. So
Yeah,
um, good to see that. I hope it kind of propels him. Hope this has some momentum. Cam Young was another one. Some of the really
yeah,
smart experts were picking him towards the top. So um, that was me. um, yeah, really good finish. Then Morikawa, he keeps his
yeah,
strong year going. I mean, another he has a kind of weird career. He found so much success early on, and now he's having this. He was I want to say he was kind of middle of the pack, upper middle of the pack for a long time, and now he's just kind of back to where he was in 2021, 2022. So really like to see it. Also, going back to Akshay's had, I mean, obviously the win kind of capitalizes it all, but he's had a phenomenal year. I mean, he's had
yeah,
one of the better years. I think he's in first or second in FedEx Cup, which for this early in the season, if you win, you're going to be in the top five in FedEx Cup points. But just an unbelievable win. I mean, a couple really high finishes and now a win. So yeah, shout out to all those guys. Great weeks, along with Daniel Berger, of course, and yeah. But
yeah.
sorry, did you have any other notes on any of those or?
No, not on any of those guys. That's good stuff. I'll touch on our superstars because we always love to talk about Scotty. He had no, 4 straight rounds of 70 or above, which is just not Scotty at all. Last year he had a streak going of I think 18 consecutive sub 70 rounds. So to see him shoot 4 rounds in the 70s is just
Mhm,
so strange. Still finished under par, had a decent tournament, but obviously not what he's looking for.
mhm,
And I was quite wrong on Thursday's podcast when I really thought that this was going to be his week to turn things around. um, so I don't know what to say, but still fun to watch him as always. And then Rory, one of
yeah.
my picks for this week
Oh,
as
yeah.
well, withdraws due to a back injury. So hate to see that, and kind of interested to see where it's going to go going into the Players next week as he's the defending champ. So something to keep an eye on there. And then Fleetwood as well. He barely made the cut, but finished bottom of the pack for those guys who did make the cut. So strange to see him. I thought he was old reliable. He's been so strong recently. So my European picks didn't pan out the way I expected.
Yeah, we will. We'll get into more of the picks a little more in depth. But yeah, it was a rough week for Team Hido on the for the Arnold Palmer at least. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to talk about Scotty too much because obviously whenever he's number one player in the world, he's always gonna be the center of some conversation. Yeah, definitely strange. I guess my biggest takeaway is one, I think when we look back to like players like Tiger and other players who's kind of not saying he's Tiger Woods, but players in that realm, whenever Tiger was in his prime, even when Rory was not even when Rory was in his prime, obviously we weren't alive when Jack was in his prime. Players like that, players with that big of a status. Um, I think when they're done, we just kind of assume that like Tiger always, was a top five finisher. He won half the time. He didn't actually. He was, won what 25% of the time. So there were times. Again, I don't really remember him because you only remember his highlights. There were times when he went through and he was just kind of in the middle of the pack. He everybody has stretches. The game of golf is really about who has the hot hand. Every single player in every field is really, really, really good, and you can't get inside someone's head. You can't predict, how they're feeling. You can't predict their confidence level. So, um, you really don't know what's going on. So, I mean, I like to think that this is just it's going to pass. That it's just a lull. But if it's not, then I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, I again, my just initial same thing I've been saying the last couple of weeks. I think he's gonna bounce back, but who knows? As far as those other guys, Tommy Fleetwood, unfortunately because of his finish, he didn't have too much TV time, so I did not get to analyze the situation with his apparel. Um,
Oh, I did.
I know he had a TFA, a Tommy Fleetwood Academy hat on. I didn't
Yes,
see a
he
polo.
did. He had the Bay Hill polo.
Okay,
Yes, he
good,
did.
good, good. So this is going to be a good segue into something that I have later. But do you think he's going to wear the TPC Sawgrass logo? Because that's a very ugly logo. Not an ugly logo, it's just a plain logo.
Right. Interesting. I do think he'll continue with the trend.
I would skip TPC
He's
Sawgrass,
going
quite
to.
frankly, but that's besides the point. Not the tournament, just the logo.
Yeah.
But we are getting away from the point. Um, we were talking about the course before all this. So yeah, the course. I mean, really pure. Like we said on Thursday. I mean, I do not remember it being this green. You don't see many courses that are this green, and especially in Florida. I mean, this time of year it's pretty luscious, but yeah, very green, very pure.
Yeah.
Thursday and Friday where they were playing way harder than typically do because I mean you don't see many. Usually in tournaments they try to firm the greens up as you go throughout the week. So usually Thursday, Friday they're relatively soft, and then they get firmer as you go. But I mean they were rock hard. They were rock hard on Thursday, Friday, and then they did get a little bit of rain, but even that didn't really firm them up. They were pretty firm, pretty fast, and
Yeah.
yeah, that definitely, in my opinion, and you can feel free to absolutely disagree with me. I feel like it's probably the number one kind of factor that makes a course really, really, really hard for these pros is just how firm the greens are. I mean, if you give them soft greens, they can. If you give them a whole green to land on, it's not going to go anywhere. Like you don't really have to pick spots. I mean, they're going to light it up. It doesn't really matter what's around the course. You firm it up, then you really have to kind of strategize where you're going to land it.
Yeah.
It just makes the course a lot smaller if that makes sense. Like especially if you have think of it if you have a pin placement, a front pin placement, and you have to carry water. If they're firm greens, there's zero chance you're gonna get near. You're gonna get within 15 feet of the pin. So to me, that's the number one thing that makes the course really hard. And obviously, it was they were pretty firm. Still decent finishing scores, 15 under, but I think that
Yeah.
speaks more to how good the players are. But yeah, definitely playing pretty tricky on the greens. And yeah, I mean, like we said before, a lot of water. Rough was pretty penal as well. So yeah,
Yeah. Good stuff. Super fun to watch. Yeah, so that was the Bay Hill. Great tournament, great elevated event. I've got to say, I'm really excited for the players next
yeah.
week. It's kind of in the back of my mind anytime I watched at Bay Hill this week. So You said it on Thursday. Bay Hill gets overshadowed by the players by TPC Sawgrass, which isn't right. However, I'm really excited.
It is truly a great venue. I mean, you have holes like 6 and I mean 18 is one of the best for just from playability. It is one of the best finishing holes in golf just because it's a very hard hole. I'll rephrase that. It's one of the hardest finishing holes in golf. I mean, you go in left or right rough, really any rough, you were done.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, it is a really great venue, but TP Sawgrass is, I mean, one of the most beautiful. It's $900 for peak season tee time for a reason, and people pay that, which is outrageous. But that's such point. It is truly, it's one of Pete Dye's masterpieces. So we'll get into that on later this week. But yeah, I
yep,
mean, great venue. Kind of a shame it does get overshadowed, but yeah, it's always home to some great golf.
yeah. Why don't we run through our picks
Yeah,
quickly from the Arnold Palmer, and then we can touch on the Puerto Rico Open as well.
absolutely. So for the Arnold Palmer, my team did pretty well. I got 5 points from the Arnold Palmer, so I did start off kind of rough with Aldrich Potgieter. Really thought he was going to keep that momentum going. He did the exact opposite. I believe the only person in between him and dead last was Justin Thomas, who was coming back from a back injury. Great to see him out there. Not a great performance. But that's he's still a great player. Besides the point. So Aldrich Potgieter did not do very well. I think he
Still
was
has motion.
not so much. His motion was not here. I think it was back in California still. So who knows? Maybe we'll get that motion back for the players. But yeah, I think it was 11 over on the week, which is pretty bad for tour standards. Hope to see him bounce back. Maybe I'll show up in my picks later on, but he's kind of scarred me. So my top 10 pick was Cam Young. This was a great pick. It was a guy, like I said before, he finishing last year, he was maybe the best driver of the golf ball in the world, right there with Rory. And so he did get it. He got a T3 finish, got me those 3 points. I mean, just played some solid golf. I mean, he's one of those guys. His game fit the course, and whenever you have people like that, if they're on, they're gonna be right there. So, things aligned. He was great for the course, and he just had a good week. And so, yeah, he racked up those 3 points for me. Then Russell Henley, top five, barely missed out on that top five. Got a T6, so he did get me one point. The defending champ had another great performance, so congrats to him. And then my winner still got 1 point from him for also a T6. Chef Woozy, another guy. He's been putting together a really good season. So yeah, I mean, not a win, but still a really good performance, especially for a young guy like himself. That's all you can ask for. So
Yeah, good picks out of Team Diesel.
yes, sir.
This guy knows golf.
I'm trying.
Yes. All right. Well, for my picks, I touched on it a little bit. That wasn't our best week. The English sweep was not on at Bay Hill. I'll start with the guys who didn't give me points. Matt Fitzpatrick, Tommy Fleetwood, Roy McIlroy all missed the cut. I mean, Team Ida was W doing. What are we doing out here?
You went for the English sweep. None of them. You went with all English guys, and they all missed the cut. Or sorry, they all were basically at the bottom of the cut.
Yeah. Rory was doing all right.
Mhm.
He might have gotten me a couple points, but he did end up withdrawing. So hate to see that. Hopefully he's all right. But my guy who did do well, Kurt Kitayama, was my top 20 pick, and he did just get inside that top 20. So good for him. Kind of flew under the radar this week. Um, Nothing too sensational, but a top 20 finish is what it is, especially in an elevated event.
Yep.
So kudos to him, the former winner at Bay Hill. So that's 3 points for me for the Arnold Palmer, which would take our total score to what now?
Um, I
Sorry, I might have thrown you off
it
because you
yeah,
added them up with
it would
Puerto
be
Rico.
14-15. You are up, but the we still have the
Okay.
Puerto Rico Open. So
Yes.
yeah,
Yes. Yeah. Well, let's go to that.
yeah.
Not that we did too much investigative journalism throughout the weekend,
I
but we
I
do know that
watched.
our winner was Ricky Castillo.
Yes, I watched for a solid hour, maybe an hour and a half. Um, I was watching John Daly. I know because I watched Neil Shipley a little bit too. They knew what they were doing, pairing him up with JD too. So I did watch a little bit, on Thursday or no, on Friday, and I believe a little bit on Saturday as well. So yeah, I do know that Ricky Castillo won, and that dude's got some aura around him. If you watch him on the golf course, he's got some. He's got something about him. He's got doesn't button no buttons. The sunglasses. Wears the puka shell necklace for his grandma. I found out. So yeah, congrats to Ricky Castillo. Um, a lot of young guys in the top 10. I don't know if you took a look at the leaderboard, but did anybody stick out to you?
Not necessarily. Shout out John Daly the second,
Mhm.
playing as an amateur, making the cut. I'm not sure where he finished, but he was doing well. I think he was inside the top 10 going into Sunday's round.
Mhm.
So good for him.
Yeah, there was a time that John Daly the second, he was tied for the lead at some point on Saturday. He was T1 at one point, and then I mean, when you're an amateur, you can only ask for so much. So really rough. I think he finished like T20 or something like that. It's still a really good finish for an amateur. Um, but yeah, not the Sunday he was hoping for, but he was tied for the lead at one point.
Yeah. So we love to see that, but beyond that, I don't have too many other takeaways from the Puerto Rico
Mhm.
Open. You know, it's tough to follow these
Yeah.
alternate events during an elevated week, but shout out Ricky Castillo for the win.
The only person that I was going to highlight was a very young top 10. Like you said, these are a lot of young guys. It's almost always a first time winner. Ricky Castillo is a first time winner. Um, but some other shout outs. Shout out, big one, Blades Brown. I know I did. It was on the podcast that did not get recorded, but I did kind of slander Blades Brown. Not because I think he's a bad player, just because the odds had him at a better finish than Neil Shipley, which I'm kind of biting my. I'm not kind of eating my words now. But shout out him. I mean, super was he 18, 19, and I mean
Yeah,
he has some finishes that he did really well at the Amex. He did really well at the Puerto Rico Open. He already has a Corn Ferry win, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure he does. Um, so I mean, this guy's gonna be a name on tour. If you don't know
Mhm.
about Blaze Brown, which he's a pretty big name, you're going to hear about him in the next couple of years. He's going to be, he should, I should say, he should be. You never know in the game of golf, but
Right.
he's on track to be a phenomenal player, a guy that you hear a lot. So shout out Blaine
Yeah.
Brown, a really strong finish in a tour event at a very young age. So yeah, so him.
Yep.
But if you don't have anything else, we can get into our picks, and then we have some other stuff, and then maybe a fun game to play at the end.
Okay. Yeah. Well, let me run through my picks first. My favorite pick of mine was Toasty finishing top 20, Alejandro Toasty, and he missed the cut. So what do I know? No points there. Ben Coles also had him finishing well, and he had a good start. He was, I think, T5 when we talked on Thursday, but not good enough. Didn't get any points from him either. Uh, However, Luke Clanton was my top five finisher. Top five or top 10? I forget which one. Either way, he finished in the top five. Yeah, so he's going to get 3 points. Um, that's kind of a notable name. You're talking about these young guys who are starting to make a name for himself, like Blaze Brown. Luke Clinton is another one to
Yes.
watch out for on the future. And so 3 points there already matched my total to the Arnold Palmer Invitational, so that's always good. And then Christian Bezoyernot, he was my winning pick. And while he didn't win, he did get a top 10 finish, meaning that I get 1 point from it. So I'll take 4 points from a Puerto Rico Open that I didn't know a whole lot about.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty good. You said I'm a guy that knows golf. I mean, pulling 4 points out of a tournament that you might know half the guys in. That's pretty impressive. Yeah, about Luke Clinton, we all know I am a big fan. There's a lot of controversy surrounding him, but anyways, if you guys have you never seen the video? I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, where he hits a shot and he thinks he missed, like he thinks he missed the green. Like I think it was like he dumped in a bunker, so he like almost like throws his hand, and then it like starts curving, like cutting back to the green, so he finishes back through. That's pretty good. If
Yeah.
you guys have never seen that video, go watch that. That's a Luke Clinton's. He's a great player. Seems like a funny guy. So unfortunately, I don't. When he knew way more about me than about the Puerto Rico Open, way more than me about the Puerto Rico Open. I did. I had three of my guys missed the cut, so not once. Luckily, the one guy that did make the cut, he did really well. But Cam Champ, believe it or not, I should have done more research and found out that this is his first event since Q school. That's on me. That is a lack of ball knowledge. Um, so yeah, Cam Champ missed the cut. He was doing really well on Thursday too, which is annoying, and then he just imploded. Neil Shipley, friend of the program, we believe in you, Neil. Not the greatest showing, but Neil, we believe in you. Keep going.
Mhm.
You're gonna
Mhm.
you're gonna make us proud someday. You already have, actually. Anyways, um, so my last. I don't know how Rasmus Højgaard missed the cut. I mean, he was doing phenomenal on Thursday, and that was I was so unbelievably confident about him. I mean, that's a guy who he's competed in some big time events, and he misses the cut at the Puerto Rico Open. So, not really sure about that one. I was super
Yeah.
confident about that one, just like you were with Toasty. But yeah, I was very, very confident about Rasmus Højgaard missed the cut. So, like you said, what do I know? But Davis Thompson, pretty young guy, got solo four, so got me 3 points. So I'll still take the 3 points. Um, Yeah, so I'll still take the 3 points. But
Oh,
yeah,
there you are. Cut out for a second.
rough day outside of Davis. Oh, sorry. I'll still take the 3 points, but rough week for Team Diesel outside of Davis Thompson. So yeah, that's one. I'm just lucky to only be 1 point behind you on that one. So
Yeah, so that would take our total scores now to 19 for Team Hido, 17 for Team Diesel. Is that correct?
yes, wait, 19 to 17. Yeah, right. 19 to 17. So closing that gap in a little bit, but I
Yes.
mean,
All right. Yeah, good week. Good week.
but if that wraps up our
Sweet. Well,
tournament
you said
news,
you might have another
I do
number
have
two. Yep. Yep.
a couple other things. So Zach Johnson is a PGA Tour Champions winner. What are your reactions to that?
My reactions, I didn't know he was moving to the Champions Tour. Uh, Good for him getting the win. I
Me,
can't say I'm the biggest Zach Johnson fan. He's quite an unpopular guy in the USA. But, a win's a win. Let the guy have fun. Let him beat up on some old heads playing golf.
yeah, yeah. I don't think you're alone. I know I'm right there with you. Not the fan favorite for golfers. I did not know he was old enough to be in the PGA Tour Champions. Um, he's got to be in like his late 40s. I could have sworn. I don't know. Who knows? Yeah. How many balls do you think he accidentally hit on practice swings this week?
I'm
Never seen those?
going to say none. I know what you're talking
He
about,
is the
though.
he is the king of accidentally hitting his ball on practice swings. He does. I know for a fact. Not obviously not a fact. He definitely does it on purpose. I don't know why you do it on purpose, but he does it on purpose. It looks like he does it on purpose. Enough. You know, enough about Zach Johnson, former Ryder Cup champ or Ryder Cup not champion, captain. You know, biggest enemy of Team USA. Besides the point, then also John Rahm wins for the first time in
Yes.
2 years on Live. So congrats to John Rahm on that one.
Yeah, finally breaks the streak of top tens without a finish on live. So
Yeah,
that's good to finally see. The guys he's beating. I was just looking at the results before we talked. You got Thomas Dietrich, second place. Peters, third place. Shout out the boy from Akron, Harold Varner the third, getting a top five. But that just kind of shows, what are we doing over on live? Where did Bryson end up finishing?
yeah.
I
I was
didn't
gonna say
see his name up.
where's Bryson? Where was new Live superstar Anthony Kim? Where was where was
Bryson, we got finishing T24, just an average, and then Anthony Kim T31.
okay? That's not horrible. What about I mean, there's some names that Joaquin Neiman. Joaquin Neiman is. What about him? Like, where's he at?
Yeah, man, these
That's
guys are
dude.
just
He's
falling. Joaquin Neiman T41,
yeah.
Cam Smith 48th place.
I don't know.
Hate to see some of those names.
Yeah, I mean, Joaquin Neiman's it's shocking. I mean, that's a guy he's going to miss out on the Masters, just looking like, and that's. I was
Yeah,
never a big believer in him, but I mean, if you talk to Live fans, they think he's the next coming of Tiger. But I don't know. That's kind of a shocking for a young guy that was having a lot of a lot of traction. So yeah, I don't know. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know. I can't say I watched too much Live Golf. But yeah, shout out John Rahm. Shout out John Rahm.
yep.
But if you don't have any other notes, I've one. We have a blind ranking for you.
Okay, let's do
Okay.
this.
So I I couldn't fit just five of this category in. So I'm going with six. And the category is golf course logos. I'm a
I
connoisseur
love
of golf
that.
course logos. Um, I judge courses very hard off of their logo. If they have a bad logo, it doesn't look good for the course. They have a great logo, looks great. Okay,
Yeah,
some of these you might have to look up. I don't think you all. Yeah, I think you'll know a good bit of them, most of them, but there might be like one or two that you might have to look up. So if you do,
yeah.
just take your time and look it up, and then get back to me. So the first one, okay, is Pasatiempo Golf Course in Pasatiempo, California.
Yes. Let me just confirm with you too. There's not really any criteria to this, just ranking based on
No, I
just general opinion
yeah,
of the logo.
how much you like them. If it helps you, I like to think if it looks like a golf course logo, just like obviously the appeal of it. Another big thing that I like taking a factor: how would it look on like apparel? How would it look on a hat? How would it look on a shirt, a hoodie, a corset, whatever? That's what I take into
Yeah.
consideration. But you can interpret it however you want.
Yeah. All right. Well, Pasta Tiempo. I know that's the one with the dude sleeping under the
Yes.
palm tree, correct?
Yep.
Super sick logo. Oh man. I'll put that at this course is in California, correct?
Los Tempo,
And it's a
California.
public course.
Yes.
Man, I would love to play that
Mhm.
someday. Let me put that at number three
Three. Okay.
out of
Okay.
six. Yes.
3 out of 6. Yeah. Yeah. So that's something. There are six. So just keep that in mind. Yep. Number two, or the second one I have, not number two, is Riviera Country Club in Palisades or Pacific Palisades, California.
Yes. Yes. Um, I can't. I know off the bat I'm not as big of a fan of this one. We're talking about the Black R,
Yep, just the
correct?
R. Just the R.
Yeah, man. I'm tempted to put that at number six. I don't know if you have any curveballs in here that are really going to be some some dog logos, but it's nothing special. It kind of encapsulates the vibe I get of the
Yeah.
club in general. A pretty prestigious tournament with the Genesis Invitational. It's Genesis. It's the
Mhm.
Genesis Invitational. Um, um, I'll put it at five.
Okay. Yeah. Notice how it's always at Riviera, and they never like the logo is not part of the
Right,
like the tournament logo. That's a big sign.
right.
That means they don't like the logo. Yeah, I'm right with you. Just a plain R. Number three, you might have to. I think you might be familiar with this one, but you might have to look this up. This is the park in West Palm Beach, Florida. Also a public track.
Oh, I need to
Park.
look that up. I've heard about the course and it sounds super sick, but I need
Yes.
to look at the logo.
I think you're gonna recognize the logo when you see it. For our podcast,
Let's
if we have this ability, we might have to flash the logos up just so people know what they're what
Yeah. Oh, it's a parrot.
yes. The parrot
I
with the
love that. I have not seen that.
mhm.
I love that a lot. Man, am I gonna put this at number one? I think that's number one.
Okay.
The park in Florida.
Yeah.
To our
I
listeners out there, as far as I know, this course is very recently opened. I think maybe 2024.
mhm.
And just all around sounds like super sick public course. They give very cheap tea times to the locals and to kids. So really trying to get the community involved, get all generations involved. But sounds like an awesome
Yeah.
course. So awesome
That's
logo
another
too.
course.
Apparently, I'm gonna put it at number one.
Number one. That's good. That's a course
Right.
that if I'm ever in West Palm Beach, I'm 100% going to play. It seems like they're very
Yeah.
big on just kind of very laid back vibes as well, which I like
Love
getting
it.
people into the game. Number four, this is a less known nationally. So if we have any, national viewers, you might not know this. I know you've seen it, but this is going to be Laurel Valley Golf Club in Ligonier, Pennsylvania. This is my not to brag, but I do have my putter head cover is from there. I have a polo from there.
Yeah.
So if you are familiar with the logo, it's just the golf club with the laurel branch.
Super sick. Yeah. And this is another one. I feel like the general vibes I get from the course. I've never played it, but it looks awesome. It looks so sick. And sometimes there's just a vibe you get from the pictures, from the videos you see, the stories you hear about a course. And from what I can tell, this logo is a good representation of the course. I can't really describe it more than that, but that's what you want in a logo. So that's awesome. I'll put that at number two.
Number
I
two.
love that.
Okay. Okay. Number five is this. You were worried about the curveball. This is the curveball. Five is the general TPC logo. So it's TPC Sawgrass, TPC Scottsdale, TPC San Antonio, whatever one. Just the TPC logo.
Uh, and I've got my rankings of number four and six left.
Yes.
I I think I'll put that at number six. It's
Okay.
pretty generic.
Yeah.
I have played a TPC course at TPC Myrtle Beach.
Okay.
Um, that course was awesome, but logo is pretty pretty basic.
Yeah, they that's one I barely even count it as a logo. They need to come up with some better logos. It's just the fact that we're playing one of the coolest courses in the world, and at TPC Sawgrass, and it's just TPC logo with Sawgrass. You need to switch that. But so this will be in your number four spot. Then is I
Yeah.
think you're familiar with this one. MacArthur Golf Club in I believe it's in Jupiter, Florida, or it's in MacArthur, Florida, actually. MacArthur Golf
I'm
Club.
gonna need to look that one up. Let's see what they're. Oh, it's the milk jug.
The milk jug, yeah.
Yes, that is a sweet logo. I love the simplicity of it. Um, truth be told, though, I don't know anything about the course. Is it a private course? I'm
Yeah.
assuming.
Yep. It's a private course. I know it's in the Jupiter area, but yep, private course. All I know about it is I've looked up pictures of it. All I know about it is the logo. It is a sweet logo. It does remind me of a logo in the Pittsburgh area at Nevillewood. It's like their alternate logo.
Okay.
Phenomenal. It's just a whiskey jug, but I'll see around sometimes. It's like so just goes so clean on stuff. Um, but yeah, so how do you feel? So you went the park number one, Laurel Valley number two, Pasatiempo number three, MacArthur number four,
Yep.
Riviera number five, and TPC number six.
Truth be told, I don't know if I would change any of those. I
I
might I might switch MacArthur to number three, Pasatiempo number four, just because I love the clean, simple look of MacArthur. But otherwise, I'm pretty happy with those results.
I agree. I mean, I tried it because there's so many good course logos. We could do a part two too someday because I there are
Oh
so
yeah,
many good, just phenomenal course logos. And maybe next time I'll sprinkle in a couple lesser known like just munis. Um, but yeah, I mean that's it. There's a lot of great logos, but yeah, I mean I think the park. I'd put the park number one. I would put. I think I'd go exactly what you went. I think I'd put the park number one, Laurel number two, Pos Tampa number three. Those three are just so unbelievably
yeah,
original. I might switch Pos Tampa number two, but those two, the park and Pos Tampa, are so original. I mean, you don't see that anywhere. And that would go MacArthur. Great logo, very clean, just not as fun as the other ones. And then yeah,
yeah,
Riviera boring, and then TBC is just an absolute disaster. But great list.
yeah. Maybe we should create a new TPC logo heading into TPC Sawgrass next
Good.
week.
I'm a big. I think I've mentioned a couple of times. I'm a marketing guy, so I do like mocking some things up just for fun. So maybe I'll come up with a
Yeah,
TPC Sawgrass logo. Who knows? I'll work.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah. But
Sweet.
if you do not have anything to add, then we can wrap this episode up.
Yeah, so that's gonna do it for this first week of March on the PGA Tour. Super sick week. Arnold Palmer Invitational was great. We got some playoff golf, which is always good. But with that being said, very excited for the players next week. We got a good week ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. I We got some great weather ahead of us. So, Heido, I hope you get out, and all of our listeners, I hope you guys all get out. And yeah, we'll see you next week for the players. Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, sweet. Sweet. See ya.